What's up guys, Brandon Garner, CEO of RVA Iron Gym here. Today I want to take you guys through some of our leg pieces that we have here at our East RVA location. Each one of our pieces has been hand selected. We've got stuff that's from the 80s, 90s, all the way up to brand new machines. Each piece that we pick really has a purpose. We pick things that we try that we think are going to hit the muscle a little bit differently. And we always try to pick the best one that we possibly can, whether it was made 80s or 90s or the newest stuff. What matters to us is that it's the best. I think we really pride ourselves on that, having a really good selection of machines here. So we're just going to run down the line, show you guys what we've got. And this is current as of November 2024. So every year we're getting more and more stuff. And we always try to find and swap out for the best stuff. We're going to start off, this is our Atlantis pivot press. This is really similar to the popular Cybex squat press. It's a great machine. It does take a lot of weight, but it really focuses on the quads. And you can get a really good stretch and a really good contraction on this piece. So definitely one of my favorites here at the gym. And it's a movement really like no other. You know, it's similar to a leg press, but because it's not on guide rods, it's a different feel. So definitely utilize this on your quad days. Next on the line, this is a Williams Strength ISO leg press. This was later bought by Elite FTS, I believe. But this is one of the older models of it. It's in great condition. This thing is a beast. It weighs a ton. It's really cool because it's ISO. You can do one leg at a time. So really good addition here. You can utilize it for hams and glutes or just for quads. All right, moving on. This is a Nebula Leg Press, arguably the best leg press ever made. IFBB Pro legends like Ronnie Coleman, Branch Warren, trained with it down at Metroflex in Arlington, Texas. That's really what made this leg press famous, I think, but for good reason. It's the 35-degree version, so it's not a steep incline as, like, say that one is 45 degrees. One of the best things about this leg press is the foot plate and the different angles that it has. When you put your feet lower on the platform, you're gonna get more quad focus. If you put them up higher, you're gonna get more hams and glutes. Again, this was made in the 90s. Here we are in 2024. This thing is still rocking. It's a tank, and it's one of the best ever made. All right, moving on. This is actually a AFS hip press. This is actually a replica. The originals are really hard to find, but we were lucky enough to get this replica made. Really good if you're hitting quads, definitely a good addition to your quad focused leg days. Next up, we've got a swing squat. This is an original from Randy Coyle, the original maker of the swing squat. A bunch of companies have kind of made their own versions, but this one is really solid. Really good for quads. It's a really unique movement if you've never tried it. This piece, you can target more quads than hams and glutes. It is different from a pendulum squat, so we have both here at the gym. And moving on, this is our Atlantis hack squat, a newer machine. This one came out, I think, about 2022, maybe 2021. If you notice, the newer version, this is on rollers. So it's not a guide rod driven hack squat like most of them are. Like our other gym, we have this old Cybex with the guide rods. This is on rollers. So it is a slightly different feel. But the biggest thing with this is you can actually adjust the back pad here. So if you need more hip flexion when you're doing it, it just allows you to have more hip flexion when you do the hack squat. Also, the adjustability in the platform is a big plus, so that you can change how much ankle flexion you need when you're performing the movement. You can load it up really heavy. It's a really good piece. Generally speaking, the more adjustable something is, the better. And moving on to the pitch shark. This is a staple in any gym. The pitch shark has been around now for at least 10 years, but really great if you're an athlete, because you can do a lot of stuff on it. You can target hams, glutes, quads. If you have issues spine loading or loading on the shoulder, it's a great alternative to squatting because it's obviously loaded on the hips instead. Next up in our leg presses, this is a Watson vertical leg press. Watson's a company out of the UK. Vertical leg presses are pretty rare. You know, most gyms don't have vertical leg presses. Some of these machines, you're not going to find them at most corporate gyms. You know, definitely not a swing squat, definitely not an ISO leg press. You know, generally speaking, you find your Cybex squat press, one leg press, and a hack squat, if that, you know? So we try to offer a ton of different variety, so where if somebody's using something, you can hop on something else. But the Watson vertical leg press is really cool because the platform here is adjustable. Like I said, with this platform, you can take this pin out and adjust it based off of what you need. You can also change the seat here underneath. And some people think it's dangerous, but it's not, because the sled stops here. Even if you loaded the weight up, if it was gonna come down, it's gonna stop. It's not gonna fall on you. So that was really cool. Another really good one, this is an Atlantis power squat. This one's great because you can do it facing inward or outward. The way that you do it changes the muscle that's targeted. So if you're facing inward, it's generally gonna be more quad focus, more like a front squat motion. If you do it the other way, it's gonna be more hams and glutes. So a really good piece. It's a heavily used piece here at RVA Iron Gym. Next up is a really cool machine. This was a rare machine that we actually got in a trade. We traded a Paramount Pendulum. This was one of Mountain Dog, John Meadows' favorite leg machines. It's really unique. It's a very challenging movement. It doesn't give you really any hip flexion. It's straight up and down like a wall squat, basically. All right, next in the line, this is the Panada Pendulum. A beast of a machine. It's massive. It's really good. The adjustability of the platform makes it really good. You can adjust the starting position. So you're a little taller, a little bit shorter to get range of motion. That's really good. People think that this is similar to the swing squat. It's very different. For a while, we just had the swing squat. I had a pendulum. I sold the pendulum when I got the swing squat, but then we got the pendulum back because it's just a unique feel, and some people love this one, some people love the swing squat. We like having a variety of machines. So that's pretty much it for the leg presses. So we're gonna move on to more isolated movements. This is an old Strive machine. What's great about this machine is the multi-horn technology that they have on the side. So it's great because depending on where you load the weight, makes the machine and the movement feel different, right? So if you're loading it higher, you're gonna feel that weight early on in the movement. If you load it more in the middle, it's middle weight feel. If you load it at the end, you're gonna feel it more at the end of the movement. So it explains that in this little graphic here. But it's cool because you can do one set up here, you can do one set with more weight in the middle, you can do one set with more weight at the end. It's up to you. Okay, this one is Flex Fitness, legendary machine. Flex Fitness got bought out by Nautilus. They discontinued making a lot of them. I don't know why. Some people look at this stuff and they say, oh, look at the old machines. This machine never breaks down. The steel is thick, it's heavy tubing. It's a center driven leg extension. So wait, like this would be like more of a side because the bar comes from the side. This one is in the center, so it's better because it gives more natural weight distribution when you're using the machine. Again, some people look at this and they're like, oh my God, look at that old machine. This is one of the best quad movement machines ever. The leg extension is the only machine where you're gonna load the quads at the very top. All right, next up is our Atlantis seated hamstring curl. Easily one of the best I've ever used. The adjustability is great on it. It's got a great stretch, great squeeze. We've had this now for a couple years. I'll probably never replace it. Atlantis makes really good quality machines. We've got a bunch of them here at the gym. Again, just one of those solid pieces that you're not gonna find at most gyms. Next up, we've got our Flex Fitness prone hamstring curl. Again, this is actually, we bought this in a set with our Flex Fitness quad extension. So this is the brother to it. Again, it's center driven, which is superior. This one's a little bit heavy, especially down the bottom. So I usually recommend starting at the 2 because it makes it more of a flat. But great machine, it's a tank, really well built. We'll never get rid of it, ever. Next up, arguably the best hamstring, seated hamstring curl ever made. This is the Flex Fitness Ham Tractor. It's the best ever made. I mean, it gives you a stretch like no other. It really shows you the difference between what we consider in the gym world the best machines versus like a newer, like maybe a Matrix brand. You know, they're not, the strength curve isn't what it's supposed to feel like. When you try this machine and it hits the muscle the right way, like, it kind of makes you say, wow, you know, I'm actually training the muscle, I'm feeling it the right way. So the Ham Tractor, again, the Atlantis is a great machine, but this one is easily the most sought after, the GOAT. Okay, the next one, this is a Sorinex standing hamstring curl. Most gyms don't have standing hamstring curls. This one is really unique because you're doing a hamstring curl in a standing position. You don't have hip flexion. It's a really solid piece. Again, we like to have variety here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 different variations of hamstring curls, right? But if somebody's using that one, you can hop on this one. If somebody's using this one, you can hop on that one. Really the benefit to having such a variety of machines here. Moving on to some of the glute stuff. You know, we're filming this right now. It's November 2024. We're about to expand into another 7,000 square feet over here. We're gonna be getting a lot more a couple more leg pieces, some Rogers pieces that we don't have currently. You know, we're pretty much tapped for space here. So we have to make a decision of, we don't want to take something out and have to put something, you know, replace it with something else. We're just going to have more space so we can fit more machines. But this is a Life Fitness glute kickback, a really good piece. The females really like it, but it's an overall good glute builder kickback. This is a Panada selectorized hip thrust. Anything made by Panada is really high quality. It's a brand out of Italy. We buy them directly from Italy. You're not going to find Panada in any commercial gym because it's very expensive. The quality of the stitching of the leather, it's very well made, and they're built like tanks. As a gym owner, when we're buying and selecting these machines, what matters to us is the quality of the build. Is it going to last a long time? Does it hit the muscle properly? Does it give you the proper range of motion? Does it give you the proper strength curve? As a bodybuilder and athlete, a lot of people hop on these machines and they just do it, right? But as a gym owner, we want to bring and provide the machines that give the user the best experience possible. Build as much muscle as possible, pain-free, best range of motion, all those things. So when you're shopping for equipment, all those things matter. There's plenty of hip thrusts on the market, but we want the things that are the best. All right, next up is the Panada glute kickback. You know, obviously this is a slightly different glute kickback than the Life Fitness that we've shown. This one is a lot more adjustable. You can adjust the angle of what you're kicking back like this. Obviously you can go a lot higher or a lot lower. Again, Panada quality and build is really unmatched. We bought these pieces brand new about 2 years ago and they still look brand new today. Next, Panada standing adductor machine. It replicates an adductor movement. You're pushing out with the hips, but you're actually doing this in a standing motion. Really cool, really unique. It trains the hips, but it can also hit the glutes as well. All right, last up on our glute lineup is the Nautilus hip thrust, probably the most popular. Generally speaking, you'll find one of these at most corporate gyms if they've got a hip thrust. It's really good, it's really versatile, pretty standard, plate loaded, just kind of a staple for glute machines. All right, next up, you know, not as sexy as the Panadas, but a staple in any gym nonetheless. This is a Cybex combo adductor abductor machine. You know, we used to have single abductor and adductors, so where, you know, it was two machines, but when you're building gyms, you want to think about space and footprint of the machine, so it's always better to have a combo. Nothing crazy, but a staple nonetheless. All right, next up is the Matrix standing calf raise, plate loaded. I'm not a big Matrix fan as far as gym machines go, but this one's really solid. It's pretty heavy from the beginning. You don't need a lot of weight for it. A lot of calf machines, you need to load up the weight. So because this one is already pretty heavy to start, I like that you don't have to put 5 plates on it to feel it. Again, because it is plate loaded, it just makes it more unique. Most standing calf raises that you see are gonna be selectorized. All right, next up is a Sorinex donkey calf. It's got a massive 320-pound stack. You can also put plates on the top. Really unique exercise that Arnold Schwarzenegger swore by. He used to have girls sit on his back when he did donkey calf. Really cool, unique. Last one, this is actually brand new that we bought from Tom Kenny, TK Star, legendary gym designer, or machine designer. It's got a great foot plate. It's heavy. Anything that Tom Kenny makes, I'm a huge fan of. So it's kind of tucked away in the corner here, but once we finish our expansion, we'll have some more space for it. All right, guys, that wraps us up for this leg machines here at East RVA location, RVA Iron Gym. Again, we're always changing and getting different pieces, so this is current as of November 2024. I'm sure we'll be doing more down the line. If you haven't been to RVA Iron Gym, come check us out. We're in Richmond, Virginia, and appreciate the time.